On this episode of Two Dudes, One Cart, John and I sit down and discuss Stranglehold to Struggle. I don't know what's going on with the U.S. Ryder Cup team and how do we get back to dominance. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Two Dudes, One Cart podcast. And as always, thank you for listening. Well, all right, everybody, the boys are back together. We've had a couple weeks off. Yesterday, John and I actually got out on the golf course together. John, how you doing today?
I am doing well. Just loving the weather, playing a lot of golf. Really kind of liking this stuff. 65 to 75 is feeling pretty nice.
Yeah, but we know what's coming, and that's kind of puts a damper on it. But it was nice to definitely get out yesterday. It was a little breezy, but man, we definitely had a good time. And it was just nice to get out with all the boys, with Tex and Tony and Parker and Justin and Ty and Aaron. I mean, we had a great time, 12 guys or 11 guys, and it was a great day. I think everybody enjoyed it, and just good to get back in the swing and try to get those kind of little meetups back together again and try to get that going before we run out of time, so to speak, before it gets really cold out.
Yeah, I think everybody, I wouldn't say he's golfed out, but I mean, everybody seems like they golfed quite a bit this year, but now when you wake up and it's 48 to 52 degrees at 5 o'clock in the morning, everybody knows that we're on a limited schedule here. So got to get out there as most we can in the next probably month to really enjoy some good weather. Otherwise, we're going to have to pick sporadic days that are playable. So
I hate to see it, but it's the way it works. We'll go into the off season and get some sim time in, and then we'll do it all over again. It'll seem like a long, drawn out couple of cold months, but after that, we'll get those days in where it's 50 degrees. Yeah. Well, John, what do you think is going to have to happen, or what do you think the major downfall has been for the U.S. and the Ryder Cup team? Why do you think we went from such a stranglehold on the Ryder Cup to it seems like every couple years, it doesn't matter where we're at, that we just don't have it, and we could lose it. We can lose it at home. We've lost it at Medina. We've lost across the pond. And why do you think that is? Why do you think the Europeans have such a tight, close-knit group, irregardless of how much they play together in comparison to the United States?
I don't know. I feel like we always do obviously better at home than we do away, but I just think Europeans smaller per se, right? And so I think a lot of those guys grow up on the DP tour. They probably play a lot more golf together because they're all trying to make it over here to the PGA tour. So they probably have a lot more experience playing in the same groups, I would assume.
Yeah, I thought about that, but it seems like we have this sheer independence that's not, some may call it some kind of a swagger, but I don't think it is. I think it's starting to be looked at as like I don't even know if an arrogant independence is the right word for it, but you got so many of these guys are so individual, and they just don't seem to have that team feel. You know what I mean? They don't have that. It's not everybody. Like you see the Thomas and Spieth and how fired up they get to play with each other and stuff like that. You don't see a lot of that from all the other guys. Yeah. You don't see that fire, especially from the Cantlays and the Xanders and stuff like that. And granted, we all know golf is an individual game, but God, how can you not gel when it comes down to the Ryder Cup, when it comes down to what's going on and what it means and how big of a deal that it's always been? I just don't understand how we can't come together with that kind of fire and that kind of team element, since we rarely get to see it. And maybe that's why match play and some of the stuff, that maybe that's how the Europeans get better at it, or more team events. I don't know what we have to do, but it just seems like we just don't have it.
I don't know. I mean, it varies year to year. I do agree. I think we should win 90% of them with the talent that we have. But I think this year, we'll probably be a blowout. I really do.
I don't know, and it's kind of, I know we've talked about it before, but it's really kind of lost it for me when the United States, when you've got this, all of a sudden these guys are going to get a stipend amount of money. I think that I think that ruins it for the fans. I mean, obviously people are going to go and they're going to get fired up for the Ryder Cup, but it's like I want you to make as much money in your career, as much money as anybody's going to pay you. I think that's fine,
Yeah.
whatever you can get. But when it comes down to this, I just think it really, I mean, I'm going to say it kind of taints it for me. It's like, man,
Yeah.
just get out and play for your country and get after it, man. You're
Yeah.
playing
It's
golf
like the
around.
Olympics. You know what I mean? Probably shouldn't be paying people to go participate in the Olympics. Same thing with the Ryder Cup. But even then, like Tiger Woods has done shitty in the Ryder Cup. I looked up some stats. He, let's see, 21 matches at the Ryder Cup, ending his career with 13 wins, 21 losses.
Oh yeah, I mean, who can forget the heyday of Tiger? They lost the Ryder Cup with the best
Yeah.
player, and you could make an argument of all time.
Yep.
And I mean, but that's the thing is that you're coming at it. You've got one group that's coming at it with an overwhelming sense of team,
Yeah.
and
I
then you
think
have
The European team is the underdog always, in my opinion. And so, I mean, I like being the underdog.
yeah, and I think that fuels them.
Yeah.
I think they look for any little thing, and I think they ride on that, and most guys like, I mean, like you said, Tiger, I mean, anything, Michael Jordan, they all took little statements that
Yeah.
meant absolutely nothing and turned them into the biggest thorn in their side to just fire them up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's,
I mean, I think DeChambeau takes this stuff real serious.
oh, yeah.
Keegan Bradley, he wants his team to win, so he's going to be trying everything. But like Cantley, I just can't see him getting fired up. We do have some duds personality wise on there, and I think that's why like Kisner's such a good match play player because he knows he can win match play events depending on the course. Just because he likes match play because it's a different game. It's very mental, and what you can do against your component is a whole lot different.
I don't mind Cantlay. I think that you put Cantlay and Xander together up against whoever, and I think that a lot of the stuff that Cantlay does really
Yeah.
pushes some buttons. It doesn't push Xander's buttons. We've seen them play well together before.
Yep.
I think that's a reasonable pairing.
But you're not putting him and Brooks Koepka in the same group. You know what I mean?
But the fact that I don't know, man, I don't know what it is. It blows my mind. And it's not unlike the dream team when the NBA had so many good players that it was like impossible for them to lose. And you would think we would have that. But even at that, they were kind of individuals out there just throwing the basketball around. And it was just because they had so much talent, they were dominant. But now you look at what the Europeans have, they're not, I mean, if you did it by strokes gained, they're all probably separated by a stroke. I mean,
Yeah.
even the odds right now are almost dead even. The USA getting a bump just for being on United States soil.
Yep.
I just think it's crazy. I think Keegan kindly got hosed two Ryder Cups in a row, making him captain was probably just a knee jerk decision after the stuff with Full Swing.
Yeah.
And I think he comes out and gets this team across the finish line. I would imagine they're going to try to get him to captain the next one
I'd
in,
hope. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Europe.
If this one goes well and they win it, I hope they get him again.
But doesn't that seem god awful that the poor guy cannot? He wants to play. He wants to play.
Yep.
But does he turn down another captaincy to play?
No.
I can't imagine but because that's who he is. And that's the kind of fire you need on the team. In my opinion, he's going to be like, if that's what my country wants, that's what I'm going to do. That's
Yeah.
who he is. That's what the team needs. That's what I'm going to do. Although in his heart, he wants to lace up the golf shoes and swing the clubs.
Yeah. And he's the type of guy you'd want to play, right? Because his heart's in it.
He's fiery, dude. He's just fiery.
Yeah. Yeah, you want feisty people. Another interesting stat is out of the top 5 most winning Ryder Cup individuals, 4 of those are European.
I know.
Sergio Garcia, Aldo, Bernard Langer, and Lee Westwood. The
Uh-huh.
only other American that's up there, or the only American that's up there is Palmer with 22, which is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I forget what year it is that it really turned around, but there was a string there where Europe won several in a row,
Yeah.
and then the US won one. I mean, they won a couple. I think other than back in the day, and we're talking
Yeah.
70s, 80s, the US used to win almost all of them. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden all this change came about and we've just fallen apart. And something about that is where we just got so individual.
Yeah. I mean, 1971 and 1983, the United States won 7 in a row.
Yeah. And then once you get past that in the 90s and the 2000s, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we introduced Great Britain and Ireland, we got all that stuff, but that doesn't change.
So, right, speaking of Tigers' heyday, European team won 2002, 2004, 2006,
I
which is
know.
nuts, like in his prime, right? And then they did a three-peat again in 2010, 12, and 14,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think, especially when you had Duvall and Tiger teamed up.
Well, you think of the talent for Europe is better now than it was then.
Yeah.
And we were losing then.
Yep.
And despite the sheer dominance that we had out at Whistling Straits with Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka, DeChambeau, where they just annihilated them and then turned around 2 years later, we get blitzed in Europe.
Yeah.
It's like, it's unreal. And I think that's the last, like, that Whistling Straits team was just so damn good. But I
Yeah.
mean, Dustin Johnson just went absolutely berserk, won every match, five. I mean, he just killed it. And then here we are. Now I'm like, we should win, but I don't know. I can't say 100% the United States will win at Bethpage in New York. I just can't.
Yeah. I mean, the European team is looking pretty solid. I mean, I'm not a McElroy fan by any means, but
He's
he
hot.
is who he is.
He's hot right now too. Just
Yeah.
won.
McIntyre, great player, a lot of heart, a lot of grit. Fleetwood coming off a win recently. Justin Rose coming off a win recently. Hogard, can't say anything yay or nay. Tyrell Hatton's a fighter, right? Rahm, Aberg, Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy. No wonder it's only a point difference between the odds.
Yeah, and then
It could go either way.
it could. I don't see where it should, but it could. And I think that I'm hoping Keegan takes a different approach and a different look at this because somehow they have our number and they set up the course accordingly when we get over there every time. And I don't know what we're not looking at, or I don't know how they're not growing the grass into like they do over there. They grow it into, so no matter how far we hit it, it's not rolling out.
Yeah.
They pinch it where they need to pinch it. There's bunkers where there need to be bunkers.
Yeah.
They set the greens up certain ways that we always seem to struggle. I don't know. Hopefully Keegan looks at that. I'm hoping he does. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he's looking at everything. I think he takes this really seriously. But yet still I think Keegan got screwed. But
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a couple of guys on the US team that I'm not fond of. Morikawa, could care less. Henley, he's okay. Sam Burns, even though I think Sam Burns can get hot, I don't know if he's consistent enough to do 3 good days in a row, just like foot on the throat and just full gas. But I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm excited for it. I know that.
moving on a little bit, and speaking of Fleetwood winning the Tour Championship, do you think Scheffler just got the hose in that deal?
Yeah, they need to do something with the Tour Championship.
This would have been the most compelling year I think that I can remember via points. And I think just the way the points are tracked and it's not talked about enough, or maybe it's just a lot of us Americans or whatever, or viewers don't care or can't follow the points. But if you looked at how the points would have turned out, and even with the strokes, Scheffler would have won by one. Fleetwood would have came in second. And I mean, it would have just been close. It's like the first year that I can remember that everything would have been that close via
Yeah.
how these points have worked out.
Yeah. And especially on the weekends where there's two events, you have like I don't know, you got one in like Dubai and then you got one here and half the guys go play. So it's like you almost like let's say there's 50 players that make the cut every weekend or whatever. Like first place gets 50 points, last place gets 1 point, and
Right.
just do a running total of total points and then don't have a tour championship tournament. Just at the end of the year, you won because you're the points leader, just like in NASCAR.
I don't disagree with having a tour championship, but I think maybe you do a player of the year type scenario.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the tour championship only because it does give us something at the end of the year when all the majors are done. I think the players championship, the players should be the tour championship if it was up to
Yeah.
me. I mean, that should be the fifth major. We should just go ahead and knock that out and be done with that. It's a tough one. I think the PGA Tour needs something else. They need something at the end of the year. They need
Yeah.
something to keep viewers going because it's like,
I'd love to
it's
see
a,
a match play tournament to end the year. Seed
yeah, that
everybody
was,
with their world rankings.
I would love to see him do it like that for the
Yeah.
tour championship. Say, hey, okay, the top, whatever, 30 or
Yeah.
whatever, get a bye.
Yeah. Whatever the brackets are, typically, like the Sweet 16 tournament for basketball.
Yeah, and you just do your top players, your two top players, which would have been McIlroy and Scheffler, would have been on separate sides of the bracket,
Yep.
and you would have
Just fill
played
it
your way,
out.
yeah, you'd have played your way down, and however many guys you want there on Sunday or Saturday or whatever, that's how you break it down. I don't think it's that difficult. I feel like it's really simple, but in the end, I mean, for me, if I was Scheffler and I'm like, okay, so all I need to do is get in. What's the point in me winning all these events?
Yeah. Nothing.
What's the point in me getting all these points? Because I'm not going to win the FedEx Cup. All the money's going to be on the line in one tournament. But
Yeah. I mean, you could do so. March Madness has 68 teams, so you could do the top 68 and just fill it out like you would have and do 9 whole matches.
well, I mean, they could do it however they want to do it, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's a simple formula.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty, just pick the top 64 teams or whatever it is and
Yeah,
beat
just
individuals, top 64 individuals and let them go at it. I think it'd be cool to do like 27 or 54 holes the first day, 9 whole matches. So you get a couple of those done and you could probably do it. I don't know how many days that would take, but you probably get it done in 4 days.
yeah. I don't think it's I, like I said, I just don't understand. It's not that big a deal. I think it would drive more people, even if you said that okay, the all the points are is to give you a bye.
Yep.
And this is the tour championship. This is
Yep.
for the Fed. This is for all the money, and you're playing for that. I think that gets more people invested on every day. If it's so cutthroat on Thursday,
Yeah.
cutthroat on Friday, Saturday and Sundays where the bulk of the meat of the matches happen. So
Yeah.
then you got guys at work. We're sitting there watching, going, "Oh crap, man! I can't believe Hatton just got
Yeah.
beat by X or whatever."
I think they could do it up really cool too and make it like a March Madness where they could be over 2 weeks, maybe Thursday through Sunday, and then like a Friday through Sunday the next weekend. I think the hard part potentially could be like the amount of camera crews had to watch each individual match. Although I think you could still pair them up in foursomes. I don't think you have to do twosomes. You could have two matches going on in one hole
Oh
per
yeah,
se,
yeah. I don't see any problem with that at all.
and you could do freaking shotgun start.
Oh, they'll never do that.
Would be cool.
Yeah, they'll never do that. You know that. They'll never go for that. No, why make any changes? Now they do have this new competition committee that's coming together
Yeah.
that's hopefully going to make some differences or make some changes, which I think they will, which is great. But I mean, we can sit here, we'll be honest and pound on the PGA Tour. We're not some of these other podcasts that coddle the PGA Tour because they're the PGA Tour. It's just being honest.
Yeah. Just
It's not
opinion,
perfect.
really.
Nothing's perfect. I think that, dare I say it, but I think the Live Points Championship was a lot more compelling in the end than the PGA Tour.
Yep.
And I will say right now, not as many people watch Live, and that's fine. That's not the point. The point is that the way it ended up worked out better, even though people are like, oh, he didn't. Neiman won 5 times. Yeah, but he stunk it up the other
Yep.
9 times he played. He was like
Yep.
tied 33rd, tied 23. Rahm was never outside the top 10.
It's
You
a
know,
fact.
that's just consistency matters. What are you going to do?
Nothing.
So,
Nothing. Can't do anything. I mean, the points don't lie.
yeah, then, but going back to that match play we needed, I think that would be outstanding. I wish they would have never got rid of the Dell match play, but I think that,
Yeah, match play sweet. That was the one in Texas, right?
yeah, that Austin Country Club, that
Yeah,
place
which is
is
a sweet
great.
course. I would still love to see them do two-person, one best ball with the LPGA and the PGA doing one event a year like that. You just pick, I don't know if you pick out of the top whatever teams, get the top girl with the worst guy and then flip it all the way down and just do a match play tournament, 3 day match play tournament like that too. I think
I
that'd
don't,
be great.
I don't think you'll ever see that. I think that the
Sad.
the most we will get will be like the Capital won the match,
Yeah.
and people look at those, and I think everybody will agree the best one that's been has been the one with Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, I also
But
like
because
the
they're
father
not,
son. The father son tournament is cool. The scramble.
well, yeah, but I'm saying like that Capital One thing, it's just they expect too much out of those guys. They're there to play golf. They're not personalities, and I think that the problem with that is they're so afraid to get off brand,
Yep.
especially on national television. Now they'll get a little off brand on YouTube, which is why to me YouTube is king for golf right now
Yeah.
when these guys are out there. Even Rom, when he was on the Bob Does Sports channel pounding
Yep.
down all those tacos, and I gained a new respect for Rom. I didn't know
Yep.
he that personality was there, but you see how fiery he was when he did with the thing with Phil and Grant, and
Oh.
how he tossed his mic in the thing and basically just walked off because they lost.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I hope that the PGA Tour and this competition committee really make some changes. I'm sure it'll be for the better. I just, man, I this whole thing and the Ryder Cup coming up, and I've lost so much respect right now for the
Yep.
PGA Tour and professional golf, because I don't feel like there's any reason we should be losing. And I have no idea how we haven't won one in Europe. I just don't know why we can't get all these things right.
Yeah. I don't know the answer, and I don't remember the last time. Well, probably yeah. It's the Open. It was the last time I actually sat down and watched golf for 4 days. And I probably didn't watch everything, but I mean Saturday, Sunday I was watching it.
No, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I hope nobody takes this wrong, but it's what we're saying. It's not that we don't love golf, but I think that's the ebb and flow. Like I'll go an entire season of the NFL and I might watch
Yeah.
maybe one game, maybe a couple quarters or whatever. Same thing with college. I think that's what it is with it. It just all depends. Like me and you talked about before, it all depends on where you are about your day. You might go, I
Yeah.
wonder who's leading. And if it's something that grabs your attention, a lot of times just something you have on.
No, or you're just pulling up like during the golf season, right? I just have my phone logged into PGA app and I'm just checking the leaderboard, not really watching the actual play, but just kind of keeping an eye on it. But I mean, I'm not a YouTube golfer still, but man, the Phil Mickelson, Grant Horvat ones are money. I mean, I
Yeah. I
can't.
mean, the reason I like the YouTube golf is because you just get to see it.
Yeah,
You get to see golf that we could play.
and it's in an hour. They're an hour long. Edits are good. You get to hear the conversations, which makes it very relatable for everybody that golfs with a typical foursome or
Right.
whatever. Like me and you playing Tex and Tony, right? Like this weekend, we're talking strategy, shots, distances, shooting the breeze, off-topic conversation. Like when Phil started talking about Bob Does Sports and when he's going to get that breakfast sandwich,
Oh, yeah.
he's like, I never knew he was that funny, and he could recite it. Like just very relatable for everybody.
Yeah. And I, I feel like that's what they kind of the deal they were trying to get out of the Capital won the match.
Yeah.
I think obviously the Creator Classic was kind of a big deal in the first one. This kind of lost
Yeah.
its feel. I think that may be a change if you did something like that
Yep.
instead of the Capital One match, like you did that with some YouTube guys. Like maybe that's where the Grant and Phil thing goes at some
Yeah.
point. Maybe it's something set up like that, challenges like that, different big name golfers with whoever, a creator or however they want to
Yeah.
do it. I think that might be more visible. You might watch that more. I think you'll see the PGA Tour do something that's going to be YouTube based.
Yep.
I think we'll see that. I think there'll be a lot of changes coming because they see how much. I mean, they not see the power basically of like Grant Horvat.
Yeah.
Just like we had TJ on from EA Carts, to where just overnight him mentioning that got 15,000 followers moved over to EA Cart.
Yep.
You know, that those things that he's just mentioning it because he's just a class guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's a superb, very nice young man.
And people watch it and they want to see it. And I mean, he's got just as many people that don't like him, probably, that like him,
Yep.
but all of them are watching.
Yep. I mean, I'm right there. I'm not a fan of Grant Horvat, but I love when him and Phil get in these matches or they do they do those scrambles where they're playing 9 holes for like 200 grand or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm got the notifications ready to go. As soon as those things are going live, I'm watching them.
And I'm hoping that just continues.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I hope they do more. And it's going to be interesting to see what a lot of the other live players are going to do to try to create their channels. Is Sergio going to get his own YouTube channel where he's going to start hosting some of these where they did like 9 holes on Grant's, 9 holes on Phil? Is Dustin Johnson had a 9? Is he going to start doing it? Cam Smith, some of these other guys that aren't tied down to the PGA media rights.
Dude, I would so love to see Cam Smith and Mark Leishman do some, because just I've heard some of their commentary just and I'm like, oh my God, dude, they would be hilarious.
Yeah.
And I think if they did that all, I mean, it'll dial their game, man.
Yeah. DeChambeau's blowing up with his YouTube following.
That dude's just one of us. He
He's a
just
golf nut. Yeah,
he
he's
just knows
addicted.
what to do. I'm still baffled by I'm telling you, it reminds me of the movie, if you've ever seen it, Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. One minute dude's got the Kango on, next minute he just turns on the regular cap and he's a whole different guy. Like all of a sudden the world loves him. He is the essence of Captain America. He just starts pounding the ball all over the place. And I mean, it's just it's remarkable what he's done. And I think a lot of it is because people just get to notice who he actually is
Yeah.
instead of who
Yeah.
they
See
think
his
he is.
real personality is.
And I would hope that's how Cantlay is. It's just people ragged on Cantlay because of when Fleetwood walked in there and Cantlay just looks, I didn't win. I mean, I don't know what you expect somebody to think about when they lost, to how they're supposed to act. I'm sure he probably shook his hand after the fact, but when you look
Yeah.
at him on camera, it's like he's just,
Yeah.
no big deal.
Yeah. No motion.
Well, but I think that's what also makes him a pretty good golfer. It's like,
Yeah. I would say pretty good.
yeah, that's who he is. He doesn't get super fired up. He doesn't get super down on himself. But I don't know, John. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Who wins the Ryder Cup 2025 at Bethpage Black?
I think the U.S. will end up winning it.
Are you going by a landslide or are you going by?
It's going to come down to the final day. Probably last 4 matches will determine who's going to win it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm struggling with this one. I've been going back and forth and man, I don't know. I don't have a set in my mind. I'm going to say this. I want the US to win.
Yep.
And this may sound like riding the fence, but I won't be shocked the other way.
I don't think anything will surprise me this go around.
No, I think
European teams just got some players that can get fired up versus the U.S. I don't think it has many fiery players on their team.
My next question for you before we shut it down, What would you rather see? Would you rather see a close Ryder Cup or a blowout?
I would love for the U.S. to blow them out.
Is that what you'd rather see all the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd
Uh,
love to see DeChambeau go up, win 3 out of the first 4 holes, and just coast. Win 3 or 4 up. I would love to see Scheffler go out there and hit the course record on the 9-hole match. I would love to see the alternate shot. They're just feeding off each other's game.
yeah, I would love to see that. I mean, but I tell you what, like that last day at Medina, I mean, I was pounding my feet around the house, walking in front of the TV,
Yep.
cussing like I was at a hockey game. Um,
Yep.
and I was just as fired up for the blowout at Whistling Straits because I was like, this is what we should be doing.
Yeah.
This one, I'm like, oh man, I don't want that. I don't want that feeling in the pit of my stomach like I had at Medina.
Yeah.
I cannot have that. I'll have to buy a new TV the next day. I cannot do it. That being said, I think I like them close. I think
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing it coming down to like the last 2 matches. However, I want to see them have to stack the singles matches accordingly because they know
Yep.
and see how the captains react. Because they go, if Keegan goes out first as Scheffler, then you know the stack's going to reverse.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then you just see, does a captain go, well, I'm going to put somebody I know Scheffler should beat, but I'm going to back end it with Rory
Yep.
as the last one out. I want to see the captains really have to mentally work, and I want to see them really have to think about their picks.
Yeah. Well, it's the drama that makes it good, right? And that's the only bad thing about a landslide. They can throw anybody in there the last day if it really doesn't matter. But if they
Well,
actually
and
think about it,
it's really hard looking at these teams to think that it would be utterly shocking the way everybody's playing right now.
yeah,
I don't think everybody in Europe the last time was as playing as well as they were
yeah,
that they are now. Everybody is legitimately playing near the top of their game going into this. And I think this could be a slugfest. That's the only thing that excites me about it. The thing that's just, like I said before, that's putting me down is this whole talk about the money in the
yeah,
Ryder Cup. I think that's
yeah.
above that.
And to get the money out of there, let's go play golf.
Well, but I mean, come out and say it. Not to keep dragging this on, but come out and say who's the guys that wanted the money. If it was Cantlay and Xander that wanted the money, then get them off the team.
Yeah.
Get them off the team. Go, no, we're not doing it. Get off. Just, you're not playing. I don't care where you end up. You're not playing.
Yep.
We're not paying you. And if you want to be disgruntled, we definitely don't want you on the team.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll stop beating the dead horse. I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit again just before everything goes down. Hopefully you and I can get back out again on the golf course before the white stuff comes. And hopefully we get the boys together for another little skins match.
Yeah.
Skins pins. I think that was pretty fun. I think that worked out pretty well. But other than that, buddy.
Yeah. Appreciate it, bud.
You. Good to see you. Glad we got together again and get the podcast back rolling. So everybody knows we got a interview with Claire Cameron of the Claire Cameron Golf Academy that will, Lord willing, I've got all the editing done that we'll be able to get that out probably next week. And we'll be able to, next week being whatever, be out like whatever next Thursday is today. Not to date this, but it's the 8th. This podcast will drop this week. So yeah, looking forward to it. Get back on a regular schedule with the podcast and keep these popping out. Get some people to listen and join in. And as always, if you want to take on me and John, we want that smoke. We always want the smoke. Bring it. You know how to get a hold of us. We ain't hiding. John, as always, brother, it's a pleasure.
It's been an awesome night, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Enjoy your evening.